Let's get started with our first news of the day. Alexander Volkanovski responds to all the doubters claiming he's old and done. Ahead of his highly anticipated fight against Diego Lopez, the former featherweight king Alexander the Great Volkanovski finally addressed the growing narrative that he's no longer in his prime. After suffering back-to-back losses, many fans and analysts have started to question whether Volkanovski still has that same fire, the same elite edge that once made him look unbeatable. But Volkanovski isn't shying away from the criticism. In fact, he's using it as fuel. He made it clear that people doubting him doesn't surprise him. He understands where the opinions are coming from, but make no mistake, he's looking forward to proving them wrong. The hunger's there, Volkanovski said passionately. A lot of people are gonna say, oh, it's just because you lost and now you want to bounce back and get those wins. But that's not it. It's more than that. I can't even fully explain it right now. There's just something deeper inside me driving this. Hopefully I'll get to a point where I understand it better myself and I'll explain it then. But this hunger, it's not just about the losses. It's not just revenge. It's something bigger. He then opened up about his mindset, admitting that in the past, he used to feel like he had to prove himself to everyone. He didn't always enjoy that pressure. Being seen as the underdog bothered him, but now things have changed. You know, I love being in this position, Volkanovski said. I used to not like having to prove myself. I didn't like the fact that I was the underdog, but now I accept it. I don't even think I am the underdog, but I know a lot of people doubt me, and I'm fine with that. Volkanovski added that he's not here to argue with the critics. He's not offended. He gets it. He's 35. He's lost 2 in a row. People think he's finished, but he's not interested in talking. He's here to show everyone that he's still got it. I'm happy to show you. I really am. I'm not mad. I'm not bitter. He said, I'm just ready to silence every single doubt. You won't believe me until I step into that cage and remind you who I am. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do this weekend. Moving on to our second news, Michael Chandler says he'll be too much for Paddy Pimblett. Chandler believes that he'll overwhelm Pimblett and prove that he still belongs at the top of the lightweight division. Whether it ends with a finish or a dominant technical showcase, Chandler promises that his performance will be something special. I just think my skill set is too much, Chandler said. I think my pressure is too much. My cardio, the champion mentality I've had since I was 14 years old, it's just too much. He added, not that he doesn't have a bright future, not that he hasn't earned it to a certain degree, but he hasn't earned a win on Saturday night. Compared to me, no chance. He's decent, Chandler continued, but let's be real, he's not ranked. He doesn't have the strength of schedule like the guys I've fought. But I've said this before, the absence of a strong schedule is not the presence of weakness. It's not cowardice. It's not like he's avoiding top guys. He had to build himself and get into this position. And now he's here. And now either he sinks or he swims. Chandler made it clear that this fight is just as important for him. This is my opportunity to prove to myself and to the MMA fanbase, to the UFC fans out there, that I'm still one of the forces to be reckoned with in the lightweight division. The way I beat Paddy, the way I'm going to beat him, whether it's a surgical and systematic breaking down of another human or an absolute dominant, quick, fast knockout, it's going to be spectacular. It's going to prove that there are levels to this game. Just because we're all in the UFC doesn't mean we're all on the same level. He wrapped up by saying, that's nothing against him, I just believe in the calling on my life. And when I do what I'm gonna do on Saturday night, people are gonna keep talking about me being one of the best lightweights in the world. The division is crazy right now. There's a lot of movement happening. Let's see what happens this summer. Now, on to another big headline from today's weigh-ins. Silva misses weight on his first attempt. Yes, you heard that right. Silva stepped onto the scale earlier today and came in 1 pound over the limit. And let me tell you, he was not happy about it. It looks like he's a little over, one of the officials announced. 147 for Silva. Almost immediately, Silva appeared visibly frustrated. His body language said it all. He wasn't just disappointed, he was fired up. Then, in a surprising twist, he started shouting, right there on the scale. Who's he yelling at? Someone nearby asked. What do you think he's saying? He's yelling at his nutritionist. I just made that up. Someone joked, trying to lighten the mood, but the tension was real. Silva looked like a man on a mission, determined but also boiling with anger. Another bystander commented, he looks so confident on the scale, but he doesn't seem that depleted. He's mad. Why is he so mad? He's really pissed off. And then came the statement that truly shook the room. Silva shouted, "It's not over. I'm going to come back and make weight. Bryce Mitchell, I'm going to knock you out." That fiery outburst sent a clear message. This wasn't just about numbers on a scale. It was personal. Silva wasn't just trying to make weight. He was preparing to make a statement inside the octagon. A short while later, Gene Silva returned for his second attempt. The pressure was on. The room fell quiet as he stepped back onto the scale. And then, success. 146 pounds, the official announced. "He made it," someone said with relief. Alright, so they must have set it at 145 to start. That's why it kicked up. For those unfamiliar with the system, that comment referred to how fighters not in title fights are given a 1-pound allowance. So while the featherweight limit is 145, fighters like Silva are allowed to weigh in at 146. Meanwhile, his opponent, Bryce Mitchell, had no such drama. He made weight cleanly on his first attempt, staying laser focused and calm throughout. So now, with the scale drama behind them and both men officially cleared to fight, it's on. Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell is set. Emotions are high, tensions are rising, and one thing is clear. This matchup just got a lot more personal. Next up, Bryce Mitchell says Gene Silva is way too overconfident. As fight night inches closer, tensions continue to rise between Mitchell and Silva. This time, it was Bryce Mitchell who had some serious words to say following their heated face-off at the UFC 314 press conference. And Mitchell didn't hold back. He spoke with the kind of conviction that only comes from deep belief and intense focus. "I absolutely loved the press conference." Bryce began, "I feel like the Holy Spirit was speaking through me. With my eyes, I conveyed the message that I'm ready to die and ready to kill. Yes, you heard that right. I said everything I needed to in that face-off with my eyes alone," he continued. "He couldn't make me flinch, couldn't make me react. There's absolutely nothing a man can do to instill fear in me." Bryce went on to explain that he draws strength from something deeper than just training or fight experience. "I have the Holy Spirit and the Lord in my corner. Fear is not an option. I'm not going in there alone. I'm fighting him with the full force of the Lord inside my heart, the true Lord." You could see it in his expression. Mitchell truly believes this is more than just a fight. To him, it's a spiritual war, a test of faith, will, and resilience. Then came the sharpest jab of all, not physical, but psychological. "I see overconfidence. I see the younger man I used to be," he said. That line hit different. Bryce isn't just calling Silva confident, he's saying Silva is reckless, immature, too sure of himself to see what's coming. And from Mitchell's point of view, that's a dangerous place to be in, especially going up against someone who's mentally, physically, and spiritually locked in. The face-off between the two fighters was intense. Silva came in brash, aggressive, full of fire. Mitchell, on the other hand, stood grounded, eyes cold, locked in, unwavering. This clash is shaping up to be more than just a battle of fists. It's experience versus youth, fire versus calm, overconfidence versus faith. And as Bryce Mitchell made very clear, he's not just fighting for victory, he's fighting with purpose. Fight night is just hours away. Get ready. Now let's move on to another headline making waves in the MMA world. Colby Covington slams Alexander Volkanovski. Yes, you heard that right. Chaos is at it again, firing shots in a way only Colby Covington can. The long-standing animosity between Colby and Volkanovski goes back years. It all started when Volk threw some serious shade before Colby's fight against Leon Edwards. At the time, Volkanovski didn't hold back, calling Colby a quote, "piece of big bleep." That moment set the tone for a not-so-friendly relationship between the two. And now, Colby's back with more heat. In a recent interview with Main Event TV, Colby was asked to weigh in on the upcoming matchup between Alexander Volkanovski and rising contender Ilia Topuria's teammate, Lopez. And let's just say, he didn't hold back. "I'm going to have to go with the emo haircut-looking dude, Lopez," Colby said with a smirk. "I think he's younger. He's hungrier." Then came the real sting. "I think Volk is just coming back for a paycheck. I think the emo kid beats him." Colby went on to accuse Volkanovski of being more focused on money than legacy. He was looking for the Islam Makhachev fight just to get paid. That's all it was. I don't think he's fighting for greatness anymore. He thinks his legacy's already set. Now, it's just about the cash grabs. But Colby didn't stop there. He took it personal. He's got mouths to feed, 3 daughters, Colby added, and you could tell he wasn't happy about the last one being another girl. We'll see if he keeps trying to get a boy. Wild words from Colby, but then again, are we even surprised? This is what Colby Covington does. He's a master of mind games, a relentless trash talker, and someone who's always looking to stir the pot. Whether you love him or hate him, there's no denying he knows how to make headlines. Volkanovski, known for his calm demeanor, hasn't responded publicly to Colby's latest rant, but with Volkanovski's next fight fast approaching and Colby's name back in the media, don't be shocked if this war of words escalates even further. Stay tuned, because with Colby Covington, the drama is never over. Now, onto another major headline. Ilia Topuria reacts to Khabib Nurmagomedov's comments. Undefeated featherweight champion Ilia Topuria has fired back after Khabib Nurmagomedov questioned whether he truly deserves a title shot at 155 pounds. It all started when Khabib made a bold statement during his appearance on the PBD podcast, where he claimed that Ilia hasn't earned the right to jump into lightweight title contention. His reasoning? Topuria hasn't fought a single bout at 155, but Ilia, he doesn't agree. Not one bit. In a recent interview, Topuria responded directly, "I think if you move up and beat somebody like Dustin Poirier or Chandler, you're next. Why not? Because there is nobody else." Ilia believes the division is wide open, and if he can take out a top lightweight contender, he should absolutely be in the title conversation. Simple as that. Khabib's argument centered on the idea of earning your place in a new division. He suggested Ilia hasn't done enough at lightweight to skip the line, but Topuria pushed back hard on that logic. "I don't agree," Ilia said. "Islam already gave a chance. People talk bad, saying, oh, he fought 2 times with Volkanovski, but the UFC pushed that fight, and he's not wrong. The UFC was heavily invested in promoting Islam versus Volk, not once, but twice. And both of those fights, especially the first one, delivered in a big way. The first one was amazing," Ilia continued, "but why should Islam give a 3rd chance to a 145-pound champion? It's not fair to the 155-pound division." Topuria then made an interesting distinction, one that shows he understands both the sport and the business. "He's saying I don't deserve it. From a fighter's perspective," Ilia explained, "but as a promoter, it works differently. And that's the key. Ilia isn't just thinking like a contender, he's thinking like a businessman. Now you're thinking like Dana," he said with a grin. "As a fan, I'm saying if I fight Islam, it could be one of the biggest pay-per-views." He then pointed to history. Henry Cejudo moved up. He fought for the 2nd belt. Conor did the same. Why not me? Love him or hate him, Ilia Topuria is making waves, and he's not afraid to challenge even the legends of the sport. Could a showdown with Islam Makhachev be next? We'll have to wait and see. And finally, let's close things out with a bold claim from the undefeated featherweight champion. Ilia Topuria says he will submit Islam Makhachev with his favorite submission. Yes, you heard that right. Ilia isn't just calling his shot, he's calling Islam's shot, and then planning to beat him with it. In a recent interview, Topuria made one of the most disrespectfully confident predictions we've heard in a long time. "I'm going to ask Islam, what's your favorite submission?" Ilia said. "Whatever he says, Darce choke or whatever, I'm going to submit him with that." Let that sink in. He's not just aiming to win, he wants to beat Islam at his own game. "Yes," Ilia repeated, "I would submit him using his favorite move." Now remember, this is Islam Makhachev we're talking about, the reigning lightweight king, the man trained by Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the most dominant grapplers in MMA history, a fighter with elite-level sambo, world-class control, and nearly flawless execution on the ground. And Ilia, he's unfazed. "I'll take him close to Khabib," Topuria added. "I'll submit him in front of Khabib." That alone is a statement, but Ilia didn't stop there. He went even deeper with the mind games. Referencing the way Khabib used to talk to Dana White during fights, Ilia said, "Khabib used to take people down and talk to Dana while doing it. I'll do the same. I'll take Islam down and talk to Khabib at the same time." That's next level confidence. He's not just planning to dominate Islam, he's imagining doing it in a way that would humiliate both him and his legendary mentor.